Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar on what's new in M365 in 2024. We're in each other's company now for the next 40 to 45 minutes, and I'm thrilled to take you through some of the new features and applications in the world of Microsoft 365. So hopefully we'll give you some great insight into what they look like, how they work, and what value it can bring to your day-to-day. Please note that some of these features that we're showcasing today may not be accessible to everyone. If you do find that these features are not currently available to you, there is no need for concern. It's just likely that your organization is actively working to make them available to you soon. So just to introduce ourselves, my name is Sam Cooper. I'm the head of marketing here at Changing Social. And with me today, I have my wonderful colleague and US and European customer success manager, Matt Wally, who you will meet in just a moment. I will also be monitoring the Q&A for you today, so please do feel free to ask questions throughout, and I will pick them up as we go. So what are we going to be focusing on today? So firstly, you'll learn about the newest advancements in the new version of Microsoft Teams and Outlook that are set to revolutionize the way we communicate and collaborate. Next, we'll get an exclusive walkthrough of Loop Component updates, so that game-changing tool that is redefining collaborative workspaces across the globe. Then we'll take a quick look at the latest updates around OneDrive and SharePoint. And finally, you'll be amongst the first to explore how Bing Chat and Microsoft Copilot are integrating into the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. Next, we'll just take a quick look at housekeeping for those that aren't familiar with Teams Live. So we will have a Q&A at the end of this session, but please do feel free to ask your questions throughout, and Matt and I will pick those up as they come through. To ask a question, all you need to do is click on the speech bubble next to the settings icon, at the top right hand side of your screen, the one that has the little question mark in it. Then select ask a question as shown on the screen here. You will then be presented with this next box where you can add your name, and you can press the send arrow shown in number 8 as well. So you can post anonymously if you wish. All you need to do is tick the box shown on screen, and if you need captions, click on the settings cog as shown on screen, captions and subtitles, and then choose from the list provided. So before I pass you over to Matt, I do just quickly want to introduce Changing Social. So Changing Social are a digital consultancy specializing in Microsoft technology, AI, and change management. So we focus on helping organizations implement and adopt Microsoft technologies effectively, ensuring that these changes align with your business strategies and objectives. So our expertise lies in guiding organizations through that digital transformation process, ensuring successful integration of Microsoft solutions in your daily operations. But for now, I will pass over to Matt to get us started with today's session.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sam. And good afternoon, good evening, good morning, maybe, to everybody on this call. Yeah, really looking forward to taking you through these new features today. Most of these features, as Sam has mentioned, they are the reason that we've got them in this presentation is because they are mostly generally available in Microsoft 365 at the moment, but in some tenancies, things may have been held back and people may be working to implement some of these new features as they are released. There are different update processes in different organizations. So some of these features that you see today may not yet be available. If they're not yet available, we're sure they will be soon. And there's probably someone in your organization that you can reach out to if you find that things aren't available. But yeah, there's been, since we last did one of these, I think it was November, our last update in the world of Microsoft 365, and a lot has changed in that time, a lot of interface updates, which we're going to be looking at today, looking at the new teams, as you can see on the screen here, and starting there. So new teams, firstly, new teams, you should be able to try the new teams if you've not moved across to it already. With the toggle, there should be a toggle at the top left-hand side of your screen if that hasn't been disabled by your organization. So we're going to look in a moment into what the new teams looks like. The key headline with new teams is the speed and the developments and the updates there. New teams is 2 times faster, and the result of that, that is because of the consequence of that is that it's using less memory. New teams using less memory, therefore faster. It doesn't just make your teams faster. Using the new teams, using less memory therefore is going to make the other applications on your device work more quickly as well. That comes with an interface update also, but the big headline is that this will help you to do things faster and just things are a lot more smooth. We are going to go into a live demonstration of the new Teams, but just to give you an idea of the things that we're going to look at, there's some new apps in Teams, which are from Microsoft, designed to help you improve your way of using and collaborating with different people, designed to help you catch up and be more efficient and productive with your work as well. So we're going to look at the new Meet and People apps. We're also going to look at some features in chat, for example, forwarding a message to somebody which didn't used to be available. And we're also going to look into the settings. I think whenever there's updates to these apps, whenever there's updates across Microsoft 365, it's always really important to dive into the settings, look at how you can make things work for you. When there are changes, some of them you will see and go, oh, I love this new change. Others you'll see and go, that's not quite for me. I might have preferred how it was before. It doesn't look obvious how you can change that, but you can go into the settings and make these apps appear in the way that you want them to and make them work best for you. Also, before we do go into that live demonstration, I just want to show you a little update to meeting views as well. So this update to meeting views is coming soon. It may be available in your tenancy already. And we can see that the big update on your screen here is the default view of the meeting participants has changed slightly. It's going to a 16:9 ratio view where we have 9 people on the screen at any one time. This is the default view. And what you can see here is that the size of your icon, the size of what is displayed of you on screen, doesn't change this whether you have your camera on or your camera off. Those stay the same. So in the past, those changes that you see where somebody takes their camera off, their icon goes smaller, their tile goes smaller, somebody puts their camera on, their tile goes bigger. The new default view is that all tiles will be the same size for everybody on the call, regardless of whether their camera is on or off, or whether they're using an avatar, of course, as well. You can change how that looks again within the settings. So you should be able to see a view icon at the top of your screen next time you are in a Teams meeting. And you can look at the gallery views and select the sizes there. So you can have 2x2, 3x3, 4x4, and then that jumps to 7x7. If you are in a large meeting with 50 people or more in there, then you can jump into that 49 people view and have small icons or small tiles for each person who is on the call with you. And then lastly, just a reminder of something that has been available for a little bit of time is the view of your own video. You might not like to see your own video. A lot of us don't like to see ourselves on camera while we're talking. You can go on the settings. So by hovering over your own tile, you can go on the settings by clicking on those 3 dots, like anywhere in Microsoft, for the more options, and you can choose hide me. That hide me will hide yourself for you, but keep everybody else on the call being able to see you as well. So everyone will be able to see you. That just removes that tile from your screen, which might lead to a more pleasurable experience for you when you are on the call. A few other options in there as well. But yeah, I always recommend, because of the evergreen nature of Microsoft, always recommend look at the different options that are available to you, look at the different settings that are available to you, and make things work the best for you. Okay, so going into the new Teams here and what that looks like. I think that should just be loading through now, my new screen, and I've gone into office.com. Everything I show you today will be through office.com, or the majority of things that I show you. And you can see through here, I can go to Teams. I can also find Teams up here in the app launcher as well, where I can see everything else that's available to me. Just a quick reminder of that there. So I'll click into Teams, and this will open. We can see that I'm using the new Teams because of what is the icon that's available to me there. It does have a small new in the bottom, so you can see that. And here we are in our Teams. Now, some of the key features here, again, remember, this is using less memory and it's quicker than old Teams. That is the key development that we've got here. But there's also a few things that we can look at. So I'm going to go into the appearance first. You'll see the theme is slightly different. The colors are slightly different. This new experience is a bit more slick. It's a bit more compact. And I really like that development that Microsoft have made. And you can go into your settings in the top right-hand corner of your screen. This is whether you're using the desktop version of Teams or whether you are using the web version of Teams. First thing to note here, you might have turned on Teams from a tab that was in your top left corner here, a toggle that was in the top left corner to try the new Teams. A little bit cleverly, Microsoft hide that away once you're in the new Teams, but you can change back to classic Teams if you would prefer. That is just under these three dots and the toggle. It works exactly the same way. If I click on that, that will take me back to classic Teams, and that change takes less than a minute to do. So you can go into new Teams, takes about 30 seconds for new Teams to load. Same to go back and reverse that change if you would like to. We're going to go into the settings here though, and just have a look at some of the appearance settings that are available. Other settings available as well. I'm not going to take you through absolutely everything today, but just some of the appearance. Firstly, the theme, as I say, slightly different theme to how Teams has been in the past, slightly slicker approach, but you can change how that looks. So the default is to follow your operating system theme, so the way that you've set up your whole device. But you can choose to personalize that if you want to. You can go to dark mode, changes immediately. You can go to classic mode, which kind of creates that appearance very similar to classic Teams. This doesn't mean you are in classic Teams, but the color theme is the same as classic Teams. Or you can go to high contrast mode as well. So there's different modes that are available to you there. I'm just going to go back to light here. There's also a good setting in here as well about your chats. One thing that I in the past have had a bit of a fear about, especially when sharing my screen, is showing something in a chat that I didn't mean to. I've shared my screen, I've accidentally clicked on something and I've shown a customer name, for example, or shown some, there's the potential that you show sensitive information if you go onto something. You can get rid of message previews and remove message previews from your chat list. So that's turning the message previews on, which has been the classic mode and the default mode in the past. This turns them off. So if I just go to our chat very quickly here, you can see now that there is nothing available in terms of those previews on the left-hand side of my screen. Just going back into those appearance settings, there's a few other things as well. One, again, I like is translation. If messages are being translated, you can choose to translate them into a particular language. I've not counted how many languages are here, but a huge amount of languages are available for you to potentially translate messages to. So if you are working in an international organization, working with people around the world who are speaking different languages at work, then this could be really valuable for you to have a go with as well. Next, as I said, we're going to have a look into some of these new apps, and Teams kind of gives you a little hint that there's some new apps. You can see on the More Apps icon down here, those three dots, this red circle suggests to me that there's something new for me to go and explore, something to take a look at. So what we're going to look at first is the people setting, or the people app in Teams. So that's come up for me straight away. If it doesn't come up for you straight away, it should be available. If I start to search for people, all the Microsoft apps will show themselves as being available at the top of your tile there. So clicking into people, show you the people app. You may remember this as Contacts. This is a rebrand of Contacts, which used to be available in chat. This is now available directly in Teams under the people app. So you can have your contacts in here, their locations, their contact info, for example. And then you can also favorite people as well. So I've got a favorites list here. If I want to add Alice to my favorites list, I simply click next to Alice's name there. And then onto my favorites list, I have got 2 people here. You can see there's the option for categories as well. If I want to create a category, I can go into more options again. and I can add Helena into a category. So I might just put internal as a new category. I can create that category. Helena has that tag, is now a part of the internal tag. And the use of this app is to call people, to chat to people, to have that quick access to different people. So one click there creates an audio call. One click takes me straight to a chat with those people as well. So a change to the old contacts app. You can, of course, add people into this who are external to your organization as well and have all of those contacts in one place available for you. The other app that we're going to take a look at, the other new app, is called Meet. Now, Meet, we're going to see something similar to this in OneDrive later on, actually. But Meet is a really great place where you can see all of your meeting content. So if you think about, there's different areas here, but firstly, things that are coming soon, things that are within your calendar that you might need to prepare for, you might need to reschedule, to send a message beforehand. Rather than going into the calendar and having several clicks, this Meet option removes the amount of clicks or lessens the amount of clicks you need to get things done, ultimately making you more productive and more efficient. So we can see details in there. Suggested documents might appear within this as well. So this is a really nice option to maybe start your day with or come back to after lunch potentially. See the things that you've got coming up this morning. Is there any planning that you need to do for those meetings? Are there any options that you need to do for a reschedule potentially as well? Or any options that you might have within there? So that's in terms of looking forward. The Meet app also allows you to look back at your recent meetings. Maybe you've missed a meeting, maybe you were double booked or triple booked like so many people are nowadays. There was a recording for that meeting. You know that meeting was 2 weeks ago. Rather than trying to find that meeting in your busy calendar, you can come into here, filter by those missed meetings. Anything that was recorded in a meeting that you weren't present for, but you were invited to, will show into here. If that meeting is internal and the recording is saved inside your tenant, that will show in here. So again, a quicker way of being able to catch up with things. You might not have even realized you've missed something potentially, but if it's been recorded, you will see it in here. At mentions from meetings as well, content that's being shared in meetings. So in here, you can see different examples of content that has been shared within a meeting. Everything from within your meetings will show in this recent category here. So again, a quicker way of getting back into something rather than going through your busy calendar, rather than going through your chat where 20 people have spoken to you in the same day, you can come back into this and find things more simply than you used to be able to, and saves you, a few minutes a day, 5 minutes a day potentially, but that adds up so much over time. Just looking at my notes, I think that's everything in terms of the new teams now. If you've not tried the new teams, but you've got the option to do so, I really do recommend having a go with this. Microsoft will be moving people across to new teams this year at some time. Everybody will be on new teams at some point this year. So if you've got the option to give it a go and try it out, even if that's just for half a day or a day, give it a go, because as I say, it doesn't take long to change over. And then if you want to revert that change, you can just click this toggle after clicking on the 3 dots up here. And then that option to do so is available to you in there. Okay, going back into our deck, we're going to be moving on to Outlook now. And Outlook has gone through a similar change. Outlook has gone through a change that is a new interface, something that is a little bit cleaner to use and very similar to the online version of Outlook and how that has looked in the past. Again, this isn't a forced change. This is a choice that you can make, but I would, again, recommend doing that. So looking at the new Outlook here, I'm actually using the desktop version of the new Outlook because web and online Outlook have always performed in different ways. This is to show you what that desktop version of Outlook now looks like and show you what some of those developments have been as well. So we have that new interface firstly. This looks very similar to online Outlook. It's kind of bringing those two tools together. And I think it's a really good interface, an interface that helps to display things in a really clear way and helps you to process that work. a little bit more, in my opinion. So it is similar to the web. There are a few things that I'm going to show you through in here. So I've got my demo folder on the screen, as you can see. Again, we've got the settings. I'll go into the settings a little bit later. Just want to talk you through a few other things that you can see on the screen as well. You'll notice that the ribbon is a simplified ribbon. It's not taking up as much space on the screen as the ribbon in classic Outlook used to do. And these icons are just look a little bit more modern as well, I think. And some of them are a little bit smaller. Some things that do come up on here, you can categorize items now. You can see I categorize some items for our internal communications, for example. You can flag things from up here. You can pin emails. I'm going to show you pinning in a moment. But there is this very small arrow on the very right-hand side of my screen of the ribbon. This is the ribbon display options. The simplified ribbon is the default view now, but you can change that to the classic ribbon. So if you want an experience that's more similar to the classic Outlook while you're in New Outlook, you can click up there and you can see that those icons appear with the writing underneath like they used to. As I say, personally, I prefer the simplified ribbon, but that is an option for you if you would prefer to have a similar experience to classic Outlook. And similar to new Teams, classic Teams, you can toggle this view on and off just in the top right-hand side of your screen there. Just looking across to the left-hand side of the screen now, some different things that you can see. So we've got calendar in the top left of your screen. We've got people and groups available up here as well. So these will take you into other sections of Outlook, show you different things directly within Outlook. There's also options in here as well to go to different places within M365. So you've got the To-Do app syncing directly into Outlook. This will take you to the online version of To-Do, but you can get there in one click from Outlook. The same goes for Viva Engage, same goes for your bookings page, and the same goes for OneDrive as well. And we'll be looking into some new OneDrive features in a moment after this little demonstration. So there's a little bit more intuitive there of where you might go after Outlook and how you can get there a little bit more quickly. You can also, where we've got new email here, do a few different things. So you can start a new calendar event directly from your inbox. You can start a new email, of course, directly from your inbox. We've also got storyline posts. This takes you into a post for Viva Engage if you want to post onto your storyline. So one click, I can type something out there that will post directly onto my storyline in Engage. So I don't need to leave Outlook to be able to do that. Also got the option to start new documents from within here for the core Office apps of Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So directly, again, from Outlook, you can go and take a look at these and start something new from within there. A couple of things I would like to show you within here. Firstly, pinning. We noticed that pin was up at the top here. If I scroll on my emails, you can see these small icons are coming up, allowing me to flag an email directly just from the pane on the left-hand side there. By flagging that for follow-up, that's now going to appear in my to-do on my day, which is the same experience as with the classic Outlook. I've also got the option to pin an email. Pinning an email, like pinning a Teams post, is going to pin something to the top of my inbox. So I can click on pin, straight away moves to the top of my inbox there, and available for me to, I might use that as a reminder, use it as something to go back to later in the day, because quite simply to unpin that, same experience again. Goes back to where it was in the inbox. Another nice new feature in here, by right-clicking, there's a lot of options available to you with what you can do in Outlook and how you might choose to organize your folders. And one that I particularly like is going into, where have we gone here? Rules, that's the one. Going into rules, you'll notice that some of my emails are tagged. So if I just go back out of this for a moment, I've got internal there, internal there, internal there. I've created a rule to be able to do that. So I can, just to show you what those rules are, I can manage those rules. I can create a rule as well. that rule I've set up as internal. So if I get an email that says @changingsocial, I've applied a category, and that then tags that email as internal. You can do that with customer emails. You could do that with things from around your team, different departments. If you like to categorize your calendar, this uses the same categories as your calendar. So then you can work from that and create tags to your emails that will help you to organize your inbox a little bit more. You can also access this by going to settings in the top right hand of your screen. I'll just click on that quickly. Settings, go into email, and rules are down there. Okay, we've also got loop components available in emails now. So this is an example that I set up with Sam earlier today. Loop components, we're going to look at those within a few different apps today. But loop components, this is now saved and available in my OneDrive because I've set it up within an email. So I can write an email. If I click on this, for example, I know that these tasks are complete. This will be showing on Sam's screen as well. Sam is also able to edit this, and as Sam edits this from his device where he is, we can see where Sam is now. I'm going to see those live changes rather than having us sending 5, 10 emails back and forth arranging something, or 10 Teams chats back and forth arranging something. Those updates can go into this live and are available to see straight away. So updates can be made. Sam can change the titles, change the dates. He can mark things as complete, and I see that immediately. We're going to see how that looks in Whiteboard a little bit later on today as well. Last thing I was going to show you in here was an option to snooze your emails, which I appear to have lost. There is an option to snooze your emails in the new Outlook. And when you use that option, by snoozing your email, it disappears from your inbox for a certain set of time. You can choose how long it disappears from your inbox for. It then comes back to the top of your inbox when you choose to do that. And remind you to catch up with those emails when you need to catch up with them. Okay, so going back into our deck, seeing where we need to go next. So next we're going to go into Whiteboard, and again, using Loop, looking at Loop, how that is integrated into Whiteboard, into that collaborative tool there. So I'm going to come out of Teams, where I was before. I'm going to go to Whiteboard again on the app launcher through Microsoft365.com. And these are all the whiteboards that are available to us. You can see that we've got one set up here though. And we've used a template that you can get from within Whiteboard to set this up. But I've also added in a loop component. We can see that Sam is within this Whiteboard as well. So we're working in there together. I can see exactly what Sam is doing. To add in this loop table, we've already got one in there from earlier. If you would like to add one in there, you can go to more options. Here's the different things that you can add in on a Whiteboard by clicking on loop component. I then get to choose which of those loop components I am adding into my Whiteboard. So earlier today, I added in a voting table, which is what we've got up here. I'm going to zoom into that a little bit. Okay, and again, as we go into here, so Whiteboard, great to collaborate, a great tool to be able to see what different people are doing and brainstorm especially. But it does get to a point when you're brainstorming that you want to formalize those ideas. You want those ideas to be available afterwards. And Whiteboard isn't the easiest tool to digest that information sometimes. You need a more formal tool, something that's going to take you elsewhere as well. And Loop is a really nice way of doing that, a really productive way of being able to do that. So you can see that Sam and I have got this Loop voting table set up. So I can add in a pro there of easy to use. I can add in a con of access issues, for example. And because of that, I'm going to essentially vote for it, or I can unvote just by clicking there as well. I can see Sam working in here. Because those dots are moving, I know that Sam is typing something into that box there. Sam can also update different areas, and I can see that happening in real time. Sam is doing this right now, and that updates in real time. It's a really, if you think back to how we used to have to collaborate over these things in the past, this is so much quicker, so much easier, and can save you so much time. And what's really neat about this is that this doesn't just live in Whiteboard. To access this in the future, we don't have to come back into the Whiteboard app. This is now, if I click onto this, available in my OneDrive as well. So directly within Loop, again, those edits that Sam is making, we're making them here as well. I can see that happening as we're going through. Anything that's happening in there, also available in the Loop voting table that we've got set up. So if you save this into a place, share it in a team, for example, share that link with the people who needed to know about that, the record of your whiteboard can now sit within a loop and be edited going forwards. And yeah, just a better way of keeping notes from your brainstorming and making that easier to use for your team. So yeah, I really like that new addition to Whiteboard. It really helps to formalize those whiteboards and enable you to develop those next steps from the work that you've done with your team. Okay, I'm just going to close these down. Back into our slide deck. So yeah, we've been through the new teams. We've looked at Outlook. We've looked at Loop in Whiteboards. 2 sections to go. We're going to look at OneDrive in, or the new interface again to OneDrive and some of the new features in OneDrive. We're then going to move on to Copilot and what that looks like within Microsoft 365. So yeah, back into our app launcher on Microsoft365.com. I'm going to click into OneDrive. And if you've not been into your OneDrive online for 6 months or so, you will see that there's been a lot of changes, a lot of new things that are available to you. Again, the purpose of this is to make things quicker, to make it easier for you to find things and to help you have that quicker file access to get more things done overall. So we're going to just, again, at the top of your screen here, there's an AI-powered suggestion box at the top here that's called For You. That's to do with your recent activity in Teams, your recent activity across M365, what you've got coming up maybe, suggesting some items that you might need and want to use in the near future. We've also got recent underneath there. Filtering is so much easier because the most common things that people filter by, the file types, are now available straight away. You don't have to click into filter. You can just go into here straight away, click on one of these. So I can click on PDF, for example. Everything is available straight away in there. You might also choose to filter by a person. So I might choose to filter by Alice. Again, I don't have to click search. I don't have to click enter. You see, as soon as I started typing there, it does it automatically for me. That experience is so much faster than it has been in the past. So definitely recommend going to take a look into the new OneDrive experience for that. You can also see on your left-hand side, again, we're seeing these 2 themes, people and meetings. That was meet in Teams, but these are 2 themes. Again, these are the ways people want to find their files, either by the people that they've shared with or by the meetings where they were shared. So this can now be done in one click as well. Browse files by people. The most common collaborators appear straight away in here. You can choose to pin one to the top if you would like to and see everything that's happened there from that person. And again, you don't even necessarily have to click into that person. The things that they have shared with you most recently are available straight away. And you can look at what those items are and click into this. Again, reducing the number of clicks, reducing the amount of time it takes you to find things. We've also got meetings, your most recent meetings, any files that have been shared in those. Again, you can see the most recent meeting, see where something is being shared. And again, you can click into it in one click that's going to be available for you and able for you to take away and use more quickly. So that time it's taken to find your file, time it's taken to get into those files is reducing massively with this new interface on OneDrive. I'm also just going to go into shared very quickly on the left-hand side of the screen. Again, filtering's working in the same way. The file types that are most common are at the top. The people are on the right-hand side, and it searches automatically for those. You can search for shared with you, things that people are files that people have shared with your account. Also shared by you in one click, something that you've shared with somebody else, you can't find it, you don't know where it went, you're looking through your different folders, you can't remember where you saved it. Anything that has been shared by you now, available within this experience of OneDrive. So much more quickly to find those files again than it might have been in the past. A nice new feature as well, I'm just going to click on folders there, because now a few things with folders. One of the things that you can do with folders, or in fact, if I go into my files, it's a better way of doing this. If I go into my files with these folders here, you might notice that we have a red folder there. Anyone who likes to categorize their calendar and color code things and find that easier to navigate as a result of that, rather than everything being the same color, you can now change the colors of your folders. So there's 16 options there. You can categorize things by color if you so wish to. So that experience might help you to navigate your files, especially where you've got a lot of files. You might color code things that run on a similar theme to each other. So that experience is now available for you in OneDrive, sorry. You'll notice as well, we've also got some stars. We've got some favorites available. So those folders that are things that you look at a lot, go into favorites, we can see that straight away. And the same with some documents as well. If you favorite those documents in one click, they are available to you. So yeah, all of these updates to OneDrive, all about helping you find things more quickly, helping you find things more efficiently, and use your documents in a better way. So to finish off now, Copilot. Copilot at last is available. There was an announcement very recently that it's not just available to organizations buying 300 licenses. You can buy one license if you are working at a small organization or you want to test this out in a very small group of people within your organization. It doesn't have to be 300 licenses where you make that investment now. And Copilot is Microsoft's AI-powered everything for your organization, for workplace knowledge. So it helps with tasks, helps with meetings, helps with organization, and it is now available for you if the licenses have been bought. So just to give you an idea of what this looks like, one of our trainers, Melissa, has put together a few videos for you to see, which I'm going to share with you now.
Copilot in Microsoft Teams is your personal virtual assistant. Use the prompts in Microsoft 365 Chat to summarize documents, meetings, emails, and ask questions. Copilot will even prompt you for additional follow-up questions.
Okay, so there's Microsoft 365 Chat in Copilot. We're now going to look at this in Teams as well, a little bit more detail.
Copilot in Microsoft Teams.
That's the same one.
Use Copilot in Outlook to summarize long email chains. Then Copilot can help you draft a new message. Type in a prompt, and Copilot will draft a message. You can keep the generated response, ask for changes, or regenerate a new response to your prompt.
So again, this is all about speed, improving your efficiency. You can use Copilot to summarize your inbox as well. And this is another example of using it in Copilot also.
Use Copilot in Outlook to summarize long email chains. Then Copilot can help you draft a new message. Use
And here's an example of using it in Microsoft Word.
In Microsoft Word, we can use Copilot to help us draft documents using prompts or by referencing existing documents. In this example, I'm asking Copilot to draft a document based on a PowerPoint presentation. When Copilot is finished generating the document, I have the option to keep, try again, or delete. We can also use Copilot to rewrite a section of a document. Copilot will offer me an alternative, and I can either replace or generate again.
And now to take a look at what this looks like in Excel as well, and how you can summarize some of your spreadsheets.
In Microsoft Excel, we can use Copilot to format and analyze our data. First, let's find the top 10 sales and highlight them. Copilot will apply conditional formatting and a sort order to find the top 10 sales. We can also use Copilot to create charts and analyze our data. If we like the chart, we can add it to our workbook. We can also use prompts to ask Copilot for insights about our data. Copilot can also suggest and create formulas to add to our tables.
And I really think that formula example will particularly save people so much time rather than trying to research and find what formula you need to use and then it potentially not quite working. You can get Copilot to be able to help you create that formula and help you get that information more quickly. Last one that we've got to show you here is Copilot in Microsoft PowerPoint, and again, how that links with Microsoft Word.
In Microsoft PowerPoint, we can use Copilot to create a presentation from a document. You can use the prompt, create a presentation, and type in the document title. Or you can open the document and copy the sharing link to the document. Once the link is copied, return to PowerPoint and paste the link into Copilot and generate the presentation. Copilot will begin to build the presentation. Once the presentation is complete, you can modify or use the designer tool to update the look and feel. We can also use Copilot to summarize the contents of a presentation. Use the prompt, summarize this presentation. Copilot will review the presentation contents and notes section and generate a summary with references. Click on the reference to jump to the slide where that content appears.
Again, I'm sure you'll agree, a game changer there in terms of summarizing those documents and helping you to create things more quickly as well. Sam, I'm aware of the time. We've got to 44 minutes past. I don't know if we have had any questions, anything you want to go through.
So there's one question which I haven't managed to answer in the chat. The rest I think I've covered in the chat, Matt. One question from Ken: how do you remove a tag in people? I'm assuming when you were referring to new teams.
Remove a tag.
Yeah.
Let's go back to new Teams. It might have been in here. Not sure that is removing a tag, is it? Let's go back to new Teams very quickly. And into the People app. Oh, I see that we've got the internal tag here. So if I want to remove that tag, I will just click there, and that should remove them from that tag. That's right. Yeah. So just click on it again. I see what you mean there, Ken. It is a little bit unclear because it only says add category. It doesn't say remove category. But if you click on that category that is there, then that will be removed. That's removed from this whole categories because there's nobody in that category now. If there are multiple people in there, then yeah, that would show in my category section.
Great, thanks, Matt. We've had a few suggestions as well, actually, of running a session around Town Hall versus Teams Live. As we all know, cool. Teams Live events is sadly leaving us, actually, or retiring, I should say, in September this year. So that might be a good one to do. Another question here. So I'm trying to access Copilot, but it says I don't have a valid license. What is best way to get access? I'm assuming this is an internal conversation, Matt?
Yes, definitely. So Copilot isn't available with, it's not generally available with every M365 license. It is an add-on license that your organization will have to pay for. So yeah, with that, I would, if you think you have a business case for Copilot and you believe that, you know, that investment in a license is potentially worthwhile for you, then there will be people to reach out to within your organization, the people who control your Microsoft tenancy, and present them with that business case. And yeah, obviously from there, they may choose to invest in that license for you, but it is a license that is required to be invested in by your organization.
Great, thanks, Matt. Comment here from Michelle. It's important for organizations to set up their permissions correctly. Also, if using sensitive labels when rolling out Copilot, 100%, Michelle. 2 more questions and then we'll close out. Another question here. Can you do conditional formatting on the new Outlook wherein you can color code or change fonts of emails upon receipt?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So conditional formatting in the traditional sense, I guess, isn't available at the moment in the new Outlook. What I did show you about the rules and how you can create those rules that come in and maybe categorize things. If I go to that again and just show you what that can look like. If I go to settings, email, and then rules, I can add a new rule here. It's not quite the same as conditional formatting used to be, but you can add your condition. So there's loads of different things in there. So example, if I just put, I'm on the CC line, and then the action is to either categorize or move that message or mark that message in a certain way. The example that you're saying there in terms of color coding, changing font, unfortunately not available at the moment. These are the options that are available for the time being.
Great, thank you very much, Matt. And thank you everyone for your questions today. For the questions that we didn't get to, Matt and I will stay for a few minutes after the session and make sure you get a response. Yeah, we simply have to wrap up today's session. So thank you very much, Matt, for that wonderful session. That was absolutely fantastic. And if you enjoyed today's session and you want to learn a little bit more around our Digital Champions program, Microsoft Copilot, or anything else that you've seen today, all you need to do is click the link that I'm popping into the chat now. So this will take you to a Microsoft form. So that will allow you to request one-to-one walkthroughs of our products and services completely free of charge. So I do highly recommend you take advantage of that and take this as your first step towards professional and organizational development goals. So that concludes today's webinar. Thank you so much for your time today and for being so engaging with us. We really, really do appreciate it. And from myself and Matt, have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you again for your time and goodbye.